Well, let me just ask you, as you look back on this unusual session, what was the most important aspect of it?
Yeah, well, definitely there's an awful lot of stuff that we did.
An act regarding campaign finance reform that would ban corporate contributions to candidates for political office.
Another bill makes pandemic absentee ballot adjustments permanent, like towns deploying 24/7 drop boxes.
The plan expands property tax credits for more than 80,000 property owners in the state.
State-regulated health insurance providers will soon be required to cover certain HIV prevention drugs with no out-of-pocket cost to patients.
Senator Heather Sanborn sponsored the law.
As a former public health professional, I have spent my entire adult life working to eradicate HIV from our communities. I guess it's serendipitous that I could proudly vote for this bill on the floor of the Maine Senate.
Pay raises for thousands of direct care workers and a significant boost in funding for nursing homes.
This bill will generate a total of $96 million to nursing homes and long-term care facilities in our state at a time that it is desperately needed.
LD 1622 will make saving for retirement automatic, that belongs to you and that you can take from one job to the next job and continue to build on.
Making healthcare work for Maine. That's what Senate President Troy Jackson is pushing for with his act to lower healthcare costs through the establishment of the Office of Affordable Healthcare, which would identify what's driving high prices.
Democrat State Senator Kathy Breen is the sponsor of an act to create an insulin safety net program. This bill would make an emergency insulin supply as close as a nearby pharmacy.
All right, now Maine Senator Troy Jackson is on a mission to fight childhood hunger.
It's very difficult to see poverty. It's very difficult to see need, particularly when it comes to food.
The newly released Kids First plan has two parts. The first, free meals in schools for all students, regardless of income. The second part of the plan addresses the lack of affordable childcare in Maine.
I mean, just knowing that your children in a safe environment, that they're being taught quality educational experience, and you can afford it. What a burden to take off of, working parents in this society today.
A lot of money is going to be spent in Maine this year to help boost the economy, thanks in part to the federal government.
Half of the $983 million plan focuses on infrastructure, with big line items like $150 million for broadband, $50 million for drinking and wastewater plants, and $50 million for state parks.
It's going to help our legacy industries. It's going to help businesses all across the state recover from the pandemic.
With $80 million in loans and grants, $80 million to replenish unemployment benefits, $50 million to aid forestry, fishing, and agriculture, and $40 million to subsidize small business health insurance premiums. $105 million for career and technical education and community colleges to train new workers. $1 million to a state commission on racial and indigenous disparities in health care, and money for child care. Democratic legislators decided $20 of the $50 million for housing construction must be built at union-scale labor rates.
A statewide spending plan breezing through Maine's House and Senate, both Republican and Democratic leadership calling the $8.5 billion budget a win for compromise.
The two-year, roughly $8.5 billion state budget includes a gradual move to full revenue sharing, increased funding for direct care workers and Maine nursing homes.
Maine Senate President Troy Jackson says this budget will provide a one-time $300 hazard payment.
For single Mainers earning less than $75,000 a year, the payment will be about $300. For married Mainers earning less than $150,000, it will be around $600.
This budget will also boost public education in Maine.
The state now set to shoulder 55% of most operating costs for local school districts and earmarks $45 million to help pay for public school renovation projects.